Am I the asshole? For not moving from a spot someone wanted to propose on? One of my hobbies is to go hiking and eat a very large meal while sitting down. Basically a picnic for myself. I bring a blanket and anything else I might need for an hour-long experience. This past Monday I was up at a new area I'd never been to. I brought my large meal with me and set up on a very gorgeous area with a great view of the lake. I was about 5 minutes into my ritual when this guy with a camera comes and tells me that a couple was coming up to do a proposal on this very spot and asked me to move. I told him no, that I barely got set up and I was in the middle of my meal. He gets annoyed and just asks again, but I tell him now. A few minutes later the photographer returns with the guy who was going to propose. The guy proposing asks me this time and I just tell him no, that he can wait. He asks me WTF is wrong with me and I just tell him that I am eating my meal. He starts telling at me to GTFO, but I put on my headphones and just continue eating. After a while he leaves me alone. After I felt satisfied from the meal I packed up and was heading down. The three were waiting at another spot and the men point me out and the lady starts yelling at me that I ruined her day and that the proposal happened elsewhere instead of the spot I was in. I just smiled and said congrats on your proposal and kept walking. When I got back home this came up and I told my boyfriend about it. He straight up said it was an asshole thing to do. Info: were you blocking the only scenic overlook in the area with your picnic, or was there generally beautiful views all around? Like if some average hikers had come up and wanted to experience the best view on the trail, would they have been able to with the placement of your blanket? Yes, they had no right to demand that you move. But it wouldn't have killed you to move. The way you wrote it, it sounds like you were being petty about it. You're the asshole. I hike regularly, and anybody who smugly takes up a large amount of space at a viewpoint for an hour is an not sorry. Basic hiking etiquette. You're the asshole. Good hikers share views and make space for people if it's not a major disruption. You could have made a small exception this once for a special occasion, but you refused because of a pretty silly and selfish principle. You're the asshole. That is literally an asshole thing to do. You're an asshole. You're not very nice, are you? Technically, are you wrong? No. Do you still qualify as an asshole? Yes. This day meant nothing to you and you easily could have moved somewhere else. You probably could have gotten the photographer to help you move your stuff. You clearly felt entitled to the space and are low-key getting off on ruining someone's proposal. You're the asshole. You're the asshole. It wasn't a big ask and hardly a big inconvenience. It's called consideration and understanding. You come across as sounding like the most important player. You're the asshole. You sound like an incredibly unpleasant person. You're the asshole. I get it, you were there first. Of course you had a right to the spot. But it feels pretty extreme to be prepared to ruin someone's proposal plans over it. Info. How was the area? Could they have done it near you? And taken pics without you in? You're the asshole. You barely got set up, so why not move? This was a regular day for you, however this wasn't a regular day for the couple. Instead of trying to be a stick in the mud all the time, try thinking about other people. You're the asshole. Would it have killed you to move for their proposal? It takes no effort to be nice, crying face. I was urging towards not the asshole in that it's public space and usable by everyone, and you were there first. But the tone of the way you're explaining it, once I felt satisfied, tells me you felt this as some kind of power play and you were likely utilizing a highly desirable spot just for you, and you knew that, so I think that makes you equally if not more selfish than someone asking to clear the spot for what is likely going to be a short photo shoot when compared to the length of time it takes you to eat a large meal. The tongue-in-cheek response you gave them cements this, too. You're the asshole. You're the asshole. You could have just moved for a few minutes. You're the asshole. The way you told your story so smugly tells me you relish the grief you caused the other party and that you came here looking for validation. You fully expected people to pat you on the ass for exposing a main character. How on earth would the lady know about it? Did the guy propose and then say, oh by the way, I was going to do this over there but someone was having a picnic? I'm a bit confused. You're the arsehole as your post reeks of smugness. You're the arsehole. Your terrible attitude is one of the things wrong with society today. Now, if it was a couple having a picnic and wanted your spot, I'd say that you got there first and therefore shouldn't have to move, because their picnic or your ritual hold a similar amount of value. But this was a huge moment in these people's lives and that has to be taken into account. How hard would it have been to move over a bit and let them do things the way they intended? Also, it sounds like you enjoyed their disappointment. You're a very miserable person. Oh, the asshole. You're the asshole. A big one at that. No one can force you to move, but that doesn't make you any less of an a-hole. You're the asshole. You ruined a once-in-a-lifetime event in a couple's life because you wanted to be selfish about a minor inconvenience. I like to eat a very large meal while sitting down. Come on, you've got to be kidding. You know you're the asshole. Maybe if you were having a family picnic in a special spot it would make more sense. But for you to sit on your butt stuffing your face and ruin a special occasion for others is hilariously selfish. This must be trolling. The emphasis on the size of the meal made me hate you in the first sentence. Massive asshole. This is a funny you're the asshole. You sound like you get your kicks being difficult. You're the asshole. What you did was petty. It makes you seem like a small, sad little person. Public space, you have no need to move. Morally you are a dick. You could have moved for some snaps of a photo them sat back down. You're the asshole. Of course you weren't legally required to move, but come on, show some kindness. Don't make everything around you and your very large meal. It wouldn't have hurt you to make space for them and find another spot. I'm sure they would have helped you to move. ESH. The photographer and guy who wanted to propose should have respected your decision after asking. The woman screaming you ruined my day sucks for focusing on the wrong thing, the proposal instead of the spot. You, because while technically in the right based on the first come, first serve mentality, are just unlikable. Question: how far are you hiking with this large lunch basket to eat an hour-long meal and then head back? ESH. Opt for not wanting to do someone a kindness and either move or eat a bit faster. The couple for being rude, entitled folk who should have planned better to grab the popular spot for a special moment. And op, when your own BF is calling you the R. Time to reflect on yourself. MEAL. You're the asshole and I feel like this is a fake or embellished story. ESH. Neither of you is entitled to the space for solo usage. Boyfriend should have planned for the potential that others would be there and either been okay with it or had a backup spot in mind. You could have hurried or moved over to the side. ESH. I don't think your picnic or his proposal were that important enough to get into a petty feud over. ESH. Why does everyone in this story feel like they're entitled to exclusive use of a public space? And op, do you feel better that you went out of your way to be a dick about it? It's pretty clear that the feeling of satisfaction came mainly out of putting someone else out, rather than enjoying a meal. Everyone is an here. People who plan elaborate proposals with a photographer and people who refuse to do someone else a solid for something important to them. Did you have to move? No. Would it have been the kind thing to do? Yes. That's why you're the asshole. So much of an asshole it's unbelievable. You could not share a space for someone else's huge life event. You suck. This shows how selfish of a human you are. You suck beyond belief. It's you. Hi, you're the asshole. Yeah, you're definitely the asshole. Would have been different if they had immediate come in hot with GTFO. But sounds like they asked pretty politely first. People just have no consideration for others anymore. You're the asshole. This is selfish, narcissistic behavior.